Hi everyone, Bandanner here. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've all had a good week. Today we are with Nihilio and Wero for a couple of games in the SD League Monthly WARNO tournament. Nihilio, obviously called Georgia Boy here, over on the left in blue playing as the 2nd Infantry Division, and over on the right in red we have Wero playing as the 39th. Let's have a look at what Wero's got down. I'm seeing some SPG-9s heading up to the centre here, good spread. A couple of SPG-9s heading into the middle. We've got some Grenza and some Motrazvedka spread about here. Now, these SPG-9s obviously are currently forward deployment. I believe that's an error, and it will be corrected in an upcoming patch. Then here we have Strellas, Strelki, reasonable spread of units. The command's going a funny way around. Look at this, all the way up here and then all the way back there. So, bit of a spread. Quite a lot going to the front of Bravo. Let's spin round. I know this isn't everyone's favourite map, but I quite like it. SAS pushing up here quite aggressively into this area. We have a couple of Foxes coming in at the back, but they're going quite far into the point there if they get that far. One Fox here, trying to get all the way down that road. Obviously going to be keeping an eye on that. And all of this, the vast majority of this is going to the centre. There's only the CV and one Pioneer squad going down here. So all eggs, one basket for Nihilio. He's going for the middle, which is fine if he can take it all. The Fox here has obviously spotted those SPG-9s and has stopped. I'm suspecting that, depending on how aggressive Wero is here, he can take Delta. If Nihilio takes the center point completely, he can then push back into Delta later. However, it really depends if he takes the center completely and how many reinforcements Wero sends there. There's obviously going to be some early fighting in the center. It's going to be mostly building to building fighting, so we're not going to see a huge amount other than fire between the buildings. SPG-9 getting involved there, firing at that SAS. Reinforcements arriving now. As I say, there's a lot. The majority of Nihilio's forces are coming to this middle point. Down at the bottom, is there any engagement at all? HE bomber coming in here. What's it going for? Slamming those buildings. This could be nasty. Both those Grender squads could go here. Oh, beautiful strike. That was very nice. Beautiful strike coming in from the side as well, catching them both. Good positioning. Fox trying to get around the back here. Wero's units are moving up. He could push straight into Delta here. Reinforcements. Are they reinforcements coming in at this side, or is that some reinforcements coming in? Another command coming in. No, I tell a lie. That's the original command, which is now coming into here. And those Mutstrelki BMP3s heading towards the centre there. I don't think Wero has realised how aggressive he could be down here. But in the middle, Nihilio is being fairly aggressive. Managed to kill a BMP2 there. Wombat getting pummeled by the SPG-9 though. Wombat gets the kill. Center point goes to Nihilio. Now the real question is, can he take the whole point and stop Wero from pushing back in? At the moment it's looking very much in Nihilio's favour. But never say never. Just getting back into a corner at this point could be all it takes. HE bomber coming in there, striking those, but immediately gets wiped out by the two Rapier FSAs at the back there. So that's some serious early air defense. Two Rapier FSAs in. For anyone who doesn't know, those are the Rapiers with the radar technology, so they are better against aircraft. But obviously susceptible to siege jets. Down at the bottom I can hear some fighting. Wero managed to get around the back of these units. The Pioneers, obviously out of range to use their satchel charges, are getting picked apart here by the Sapri RPO. Reinforcements being called in now. Lots of reinforcements. This is kind of slow moving of Wero to the point that reinforcements are going to be contesting this point. I think that's unfortunate. I think he had a chance to really be in the point properly and holding a significant chunk of it, where Nihilio has been allowed to sort of focus on the center. In fact, he's got more reinforcements coming into the center there. More arm rifles in the warriors. Are they possibly being... They're being redirected to the bottom point now. I wondered if there might be, and sure enough, there they go. And Nihilio hasn't gained control of the entire central point, and reinforcements are arriving for Wero. He's not giving that up. Still quite a few units in there for both teams. BMP2's there, deploying their forces. I think Wero can put up a good fight there, even with the reinforcements coming in. At this side, obviously those warrior Milans have changed plans a bit. He will have to pull back, Wero. And here's some Gazelle rockets and stuff coming in. Is there any AA there? There is not. There is no AA with these units. Those Gazelle rockets will have free reign at the moment. Not the best choppers, obviously. Tornado HE came in the middle there. Did not drop its payload. Certainly doesn't look like it dropped its payload. Not sure what it was going for. Perhaps lost its target. Just looking at this Fox back here. Teetering around the back there. Is being engaged by the Mi-24. I assume that was called in to deal with it. And Mi-24 wins that fight. We don't need to watch it. We already know how that ends. BMP2's here getting pummeled by the Wombat. Surprising how well the Wombat is performing here. You don't always think highly of the Wombat, but it's doing a good job. SAS getting pummeled, but there goes the BMP2. Resupply being called in the center of the point. Motrazvedka not looking too healthy, but being supported by a tank and a BMP3. Down at the bottom, where we're missing this ongoing fight. I feel like Wero's little push here has been stalled. As I say, the reinforcements have arrived. And that was my concern, is once those reinforcements had arrived, it's easier for Nihilio to hold this point. He's even got a Challenger Mark II coming in there. Once again, a lack of anti-air on both sides here, really. There's no anti-air for Nihilio either. So that Mi-24 rocket is making a mess. It's taking pot shots at the Challenger. Challenger is smoked. Over in the center. Still +3 currently to Nihilio. The problem is that there's no command in here for Wero. Where is Wero's command? Well, there's another one at the back here. I wonder if he actually lost one. It's possible he lost one to that fox that was trundling around. In fact, that is exactly what happened. There is that command. Killed on the bridge, probably by the fox. That's very unfortunate. That is why the middle has been uncapped. Over here, that Mi-24 has made a huge difference, taking out some of the squads that came in. Another Challenger Mark II and another Challenger. Wow. Lots of Challenger Mark IIs coming in here now. Leaning heavily into the tank meta. Over at this side, Wero is looking a bit thin on the ground, but the reality is Nihilio hasn't taken the entire point. He's only got about half of it. Wero still has units up here at this corner and down here. It doesn't feel like he has a lot there, but there are more reinforcements arriving as well. So he's holding his own. The question is, can he get some kind of command into this back point and start recouping some of those points to make up what he's currently fallen behind by? Rapier FSA heading towards the middle there. Was that one that he moved and sent across that side and has now moved back? I think he might have done that to try and get that chopper, but the chopper has been pulled back. I'm a little bit confused there. It's a distinct possibility that he just switched that out. I don't remember seeing him lose one. A little bit of a push here, and he is forcing Nihilio out of the point. Nihilio is retreating his forces. Spending on the challenges could come back to haunt Nihilio here, because they're expensive units. Very expensive. And if Wero can flood infantry, that could make a huge difference. 30 minutes left of the game. Wero being pushed back a bit here. And Nihilio being a little bit more assertive at this side now. Actually being quite aggressive. Tornado HE bomber coming in here. This could be devastating for these Motostrelki, depending on where this bombs. Ooh. No. Lucky escape for the Motostrelki. He does get the Metis squad behind, but those Metis, or the normal Motostrelki, sorry, were too far forward. Oh, another jet goes down. Laser Glider bomber annihilated by the Rapier FSA that are there. Rapier FSAs are doing a really good job in this game. Look at all those Terrier gun groups. Oh my word. How many is that? 8 Terrier gun groups. That is a lot of unit spam coming in. I'm not sure where they're going to. Wero has completely lost control down here. He's moving up his Mi-24 again. But there are some defensive javelins in the point, but not moving up with his units here. So Nihilio will get caught out by the Mi-24 again. All those gun groups are heading into the center here. Wero has done a good job pushing back in. I expected at the start he was going to get pushed right out of this point completely, but he's managed to get back in there, putting up quite a fight. Plenty of reinforcements continue to come in. Unfortunately, at the same time, there's nothing coming in at this side of the map. Just that rocket on guard. There is a command on the way now. A Saxon command vehicle heading to that far corner. I wonder if we'll see Wero call anything in for this point. He's got a BV coming in. Mi-24 hitting that Saxon there. Some reinforcements being called in here. I don't think Wero realizes how far up Nihilio has actually pushed. Of course, that chopper hasn't seen anything in the forest yet. Just what was on the road itself. Good fire support from the T-80s here. Unfortunately, the Motostrelki at the front there getting hit pretty hard by the Terrier's gun group. Zoom in for a closer look at this. BMP-3 being used as good fire support as well. T-80B there being shot at from the side. Needs to be careful. Lots of fire going in on that building. HE bomber comes in. Going for that building. Ooh, that was a good strike. Did a lot of damage. 1 squad dead. 2 squads badly damaged. A8 does kill the Jaguar HE bomber though. Good fire support from these vehicles here against those gun groups. They're not going to last very long. It's the only problem with the gun groups. They're pretty weak. They're not the biggest squads. That command just sat outside this point now. There's quite a few units there. And the javelins are moving up to deal with that attack chopper. I'm very worried for Wero at the other side of the map. HE bomber coming in at the back here. Does manage to get a kill on the BMP-2, but also goes down. That might be the end of the HE bombers from Nihilio. Quick swipe over here. Incoming those BTR-60s and the GAZ-66. Are they going to get destroyed? Yes, they are. 2 of them managed to deploy, but 1 squad didn't manage it. Mi-24 getting pummeled by those autocannons. Motostrelki working hard here, but the Mi-24 is going to get killed. It's panicked. It's missing its targets a lot. It is going to be very lucky not to go down here. The infantry are dead. There's a bomber or something coming in. Laser got a bomber coming in for the Challenger. Gets the kill. The command is in at the back, though. Reinforcements are rushing in now for Wero. Currently +4 to Nihilio. If Wero can't regain control of this side, those points are going to tick up very, very quickly. Only 8 minutes left of this game. Motostrelki moving in here, but obviously a little bit out of range to be hitting those vehicles at the moment. And they are getting absolutely torn to shreds. Oh my word. They got absolutely melted. They were out in the open versus those autocannons. Motostrelki gets one kill. Surely can get another on those warriors. But there's another warrior and a half-dead Challenger coming in. Command back in this point. The Saxon command is being retreated. Where is that Saxon command going? I'm surprised that was pulled back. Oh, it's coming straight back to this point. He's changed his mind. I was going to say, I was surprised that got retreated. Mi-24 coming back in, partially repaired. Taking out the warrior first, but the javelins are nearly there now. They've taken a long time to get there, but they have arrived. Challenger Mark II does go down. But there's the javelins. Nice hit. Can they get a second good hit? Chopper is stunned, taking fire from multiple sources. Command is back in the point. It will be contested. But in the middle of the map... Oh my word, Wero has taken the center completely. Not something I expected at the start of this game. Wero has completely turned it around in the center. Currently +1, but it's a long time till a victory. Oh, hang on. The command wasn't missing from the middle. It wasn't destroyed. It had snuck round the back. Look at it go. How did that sneak past all those units? It's going to take the back point. Oh. There's no recon or anything back there to stop it. It will completely cap that point. Currently +1, about to be +3 to Nihilio. There it goes. 10 minutes to the victory. Mi-24 VP being sent over there to deal with that, but he will have to call in another command. Command being moved out of the central point here. Wero has regained a lot of control. The reality is Wero can win this. He just needs to regain control. I don't believe Nihilio has exchanged well at this point. Wero has more control of this point. There's only the javelins left in there. The command at the back. He has... Oh no! Where has the command gone from the center? I'm so confused. It looks like Wero has lost his command in the center and the point has been retaken by Nihilio. Where did his command go? I don't even know what killed it. Command has been killed at the back by the Mi-24 VP here. Currently +7. +9 to Nihilio. There's an Mi-9 chopper coming in to recap this back point. Damage has been done though. And it looks like Nihilio is gaining some ground in the center point again. Mi-9 has been lifted off here, but it's still capped by the command vehicle from Nihilio. And he doesn't have another command coming in, so he's just lost that point. It remains +7 with a victory in 2 minutes. 47 seconds. I thought Wero had turned this around, but he just lost some of his back points. Reinforcements arriving here. Those javelins are still there. MI-24 could be in trouble. Over in the center, and Nihilio is looking good. I assume that this command will be moved back to the other side. Or is it going to be moved to the center, or even the back point over there? It's only got 2 minutes to get there. I think that's where it's heading. Let's grab it. Yes, indeed, it's heading for that back point, which isn't defended. But if it gets spotted on the way... There you go. MI9 retaking that back point as well. Or taking it for the first time, I should say. Wero trying to regain some control here. Rapier FSA being taken out in the middle by that chopper. Chopper done a good job there. Still one remains. Misses the chopper again. Motorstocky BMP trying to clear up stuff in the middle here, but there's more and more reinforcements arriving. Saxon Command heading back to that rear point to recap that. And as it stands right now, Nihilio is just staying ahead all the time. This Hellarm is heading over there. He's seen that command chopper heading to the back. The Hellarm is going to intercept. If it lands, it'll get shot at. Jaguar HE bomber coming in here to finish off those Motorstrelki. Nicely done. Good strike. It does go down itself. Command tank in this point now. The MI9 flittering around at the back there. It feels like a bit of scrambling now, but the centre has mostly been cleared out of Wero's units. That command at the back there will attempt to land, but is being hunted by that Hellarm. Rover command being sent up that way as well to counter-cap it, just in case. Commiserations, Wero. I thought you had regained control of this game, but it's so suddenly switched back to Nihilio. Laser guided bomber coming in here. Not sure what it's going for. Looking for a kill on a CV that isn't there. Blind fire into the corner. Well played, Nihilio. Commiserations, Wero. I think you both played a really good game there. I genuinely was impressed when Wero retook the center. But unfortunately, he just didn't hold it long enough. And look at that. By the end, the kills to losses were very similar. I think that fluctuated a lot during that game, but by the end, it was very tight. Deservedly so. They both played well. T80 doing well. The MI-24V did well. BMP3 did well. Motorstrelki doing okay there. At the other side, Warrior Milan did a good job. Warrior Milan, Challenger, obviously, arm rifles. That was a good game, guys. Let's hop straight into game number 2. Welcome back to game number 2 with Nihilio and Wero. Nihilio this time over on the left in blue playing as the 82nd Airborne, and over on the right in red we have Wero playing as the 5th Panzer Division. Let's have a look at what Nihilio has down. I expect they're still deploying units, but we'll see. One command heading through here and up to this point. We have various spread of units. Stingers, TOW 2 specifically. An Airborne Scout and a couple of Recon Humvees. And over this side we have Stingers, Airborne Dragons, another TOW Humvee, TOW 2, and a command and another Recon. It feels like there's a lot of units there for a 1v1. Are the 82nd Airborne units really that cheap at the start? I mean, I suppose there's no heavy tanks or anything. Over at this side, we have some Jaeger Aufgol heading out this way for Wero. We have a Leo 2A3x2, Marder 1A3 with Panzer Grenadiers, and some Roland 2s all heading up this way. Quite an aggressive push towards Alpha there. And at this side, we just have a Gepard and a Command and one Panzer Grenadier. This will be an interesting game. Much bigger spread of units for Nihilio and much less for Wero. But Wero sending 2 expensive heavy tanks to Alpha. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because they can provide great fire support, but they're going to be going up against TOW 2s. And they would have been going up against TOWs and TOW 2s no matter which side of the map they went, but it's a little bit more open in Delta. So tanks can perhaps fare a bit better at the top of this map than down here at the bottom. It's difficult to call. Certainly it feels like Nihilio is going to have the advantage in infantry wherever on the map as it stands, but that doesn't mean everything. It really then comes into how those units are utilized. If Wero can keep those tanks alive, they will be devastating, because the fire support they can provide towards the edge of the buildings is invaluable, and placing them in certain tree lines back here makes them hard to see but able to fire in pretty effectively. I honestly don't know where the fight is going to be at the start of this one. It might be that both players have a very gentle start and just build up a line of defense. It may be that Nihilio tries to push aggressively somewhere. Where is that Lux off to? I didn't check. It's heading into here, just to cover the middle there. So early caps for Nihilio, because he's got the airborne forward deployed command Humvees. Obviously that will net him quite a few points early on. It will eventually balance out. It will be the case that he also takes control of this bottom point. Oh wow, look at how aggressive he's being at the top here. He's actually going full on to the other side of the point. Wero here is going to have to build up forces to be aggressive. This won't be an easy march through the points. Certainly his forward forces are at risk here from those airborne in that tree line. At this side, I feel like with the tank support, Wero's probably in a good position, because really it's only that TOW 2 that's a threat and it's further back. I think he can get in this point. Here, however, these airbornes might be about to get a kill. Marder 103 getting a bit close. Oh, it does explode, but the Panzer Grenadier has managed to get out in time. Everything else will be pulled back now. There is a TOW on the Humvee back there, firing out at this transport with the munitions. There it goes. Some reinforcements already being called into this area in the form of a couple of cheaper tanks. But at the moment, +7 to Nihilio. Do we have a command at this side? We do have an Iltis command coming in now. We also have some more Marders coming in over there. Command here being pushed up. Leo 2A3s will clean up here. Now that's interesting. The TOW 2 has been redeployed, but it's not going to have the advantage because it doesn't have the range advantage. It's going to be really in the face of these tanks, which will give the tanks an advantage in that they can hit it pretty easily. The infantry also pushing up here. This is looking pretty good for Wero at the moment. We'll have to be careful of that TOW 2. It's still going to kill the Marder pretty easily. Oh, it went for the Gepard. Ooh. Gepard does smoke. It is safe. Command vehicle needs to be careful here. Sneaking around the back. Just trying to keep an eye on what's happening at the top. There's an Apache coming in at the top. There is plenty of air defense down here. I'm not sure there's anything at the top at the moment for Wero. Oh, he does have the Gepard. Apologies. He does have the Gepard up there. Very, very aggressive push at the top there from Nihilio. Going for my push that I did in my ranked game. Straight into that back point. There is an Apache coming in to counter that though. And the air defense at this side successfully took out that Sea Jet. There is only the Gepards on the field. I believe he did get the Gepard at this side though. The Rolands did their job. The Rolands are not radar. And the foothold has been made in the point. The two Leo 2A3s have survived. And one of the TOW 2s, I think, is dead unless... No, it's not. It got retreated. All credit to Nihilio there. He saved the TOW 2 and retreated it. I'm quite impressed by that, to be honest. Leo 1A5's coming in here, pushing these infantry out, and the infantry that came in their vehicles had been destroyed. This is going to be a slower build-up for Wero. He is playing as the 5th Panzer. He has lots of heavy tanks to bring in, which will eventually overwhelm what Nihilio has. And Nihilio has had that advantage at the start where he can forward deploy, gain lots of ground, and cap everything. And that's where he's got this almost 1,000 points from. 890 and counting. But now is the build-up where Wero can push this back. Leo 2A3 at this side, though, not looking healthy. He needs to get that out of there. It's been hit by the Apache, I think, as well. Apache rocket at this side. Under fire from 3 Stingers. That is not going to last long. Poor Apache. It is being landed there. That's probably the safest thing you could do. TOW 2 there. Looking for a shot on something. I'm not sure what. It lost targeting. Over at the other side of the map. Ooh, TOW 2 in a nice position there. Managed to kill both of those tanks that were called in. Rough time of it up here now for Wero as the TOWs are in position. And as I said, the TOWs were really the big threat to the tanks that Wero can field. TOW 2s are super strong. Obviously the Apache helps as well. 3 Apaches in here for Nihilio. Still +2 currently. And he's still ticking up those points. Supplies moving up to repair that Leo 2A3 now. TOW 2 firing at what I assume is the Roland. No, it's the tank. It can see it at the edge. Oh, that's nasty. Over at this side, the TOW 2 still picking stuff off. Jaeger and Jaeger Avko coming in at the bottom here. There is a Humvee with a TOW on it parked there nicely to pick off anything that comes in. And there goes another supply vehicle. Nice positioning on the TOWs in this game. Gotta give him credit for that. And especially saving that TOW 2, which I believe was in the building and then got moved to the back. That was well defended or well saved. Realistically, Nihilio's looking a bit thin on the ground. He's taken a lot of punishment. But those TOWs are keeping Wero at bay. Still +2. He has breached the 1,000 point mark. 2 F-16 ATs coming in to put pressure on those tanks. Chinook being sent over the centre here. This is a suicide unit to see how much anti-air there is and where that anti-air is. Very cleverly done. Perhaps looking for a kill with the anti-tank jets on the air defences. And yes, indeed, there they come. That was absolutely brilliant. Cannot fault that, Nihilio. That was brilliant. Complete baiting there. Managed to get in to give away the positions of the air defense. Came in with the F-16s. Annihilated the air defense. Annihilated one of the 2A3s. And then the Apaches moved in and cleared up without the air defense there to stop them. That was absolutely textbook. What a brilliant bait. Commiserations there, Wero. That was really unlucky. really hard to know that those jets were waiting to fly in there. But I cannot fault Nihilio. That was a brilliant move. Always impressive when you get to see those types of things pulled off. Apaches here, now just clearing up everything at the back. The Rolands are coming in. Should hopefully get a kill on a couple of these. But they obviously pose a significant threat to those Rolands. Rolands here. Did seem to about to be... They seemed like they were going to engage and then they've stopped twice. And the Apaches are tearing them apart. Oh dear. I fear that may be game already. And Nihilio has complete control of the map. There's a few units left at the top there. A couple of artillery pieces in here. Some more Rolands coming in. Can they get shots off this time? They seem to be really struggling. I think the trees are blocking them. These Apaches are just clearing up. Command is moving into that back point. Roland's finally getting some shots, but yeah, Apaches just mince them. Gepard at the back here does manage to kill one of the Apaches, but I think the damage has been done. Plus 10 to Nihilio as he goes for the victory in this game. What a brutal second game. I thought Wero was holding firm, but that brilliant bait there with the transport chopper, the Chinook, just to get the position of all of those Rolands was absolutely brilliant. And then everything else moving in, that was just very, very well done. Cannot fault that. Very unlucky to Wero though. Apache's moving in for the kill on that recon. 28 seconds to the victory. Unlucky Wero. I genuinely thought you had that first game at one point. You completely turned it around. But Nihilio has just done a fantastic job this game. His early gaining control and then bolstering that by doing that bait. Very well done. I don't think anyone would have seen that coming. Good games, guys. Well played. Commiserations to Wero. Bit of a difference in kills to losses there, but not massive. 1,000 points in it. I mean, it was a short game, but let's have a look at those kills and losses. I mean, the Apaches and the Humvee with the tow as well. And the tow too, yeah, tows were very well performing there. Then the Apaches just cleared up. Leopards did some work. The Marder Milan did some work. Yeah. Commiserations again, Wero. Very, very well played though. I genuinely thought you had it in that first game. And to be fair, I thought you were going to end up getting there in the second as well. Well played to Nihilio though. Very good bait in that second game. Thanks for watching everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.